loves, it's AshleyBedeck coming to you guys with yet another video. In today's video, I will be doing probably one of my first beauty videos, so bear with me as I am a little bit new to this, but I want to give you guys my everyday face routine. Usually I start off with a fresh face. I clean my face with Cetaphil, and I use the Olay version of the Clarisonic, and that's usually how I clean my face on a day-to-day basis. So right now I'm starting with the clean face, and usually overnight what I do is I have really chapped lips, so overnight I usually will use this Aquaphor Lip Repair Plus Protect, and it has a broad spectrum SPF of 30. So my lips already have a little bit of this on it. I put a little bit more on about an hour ago, so they are still moisturizing as I go. But without further ado, let's get started. So I usually, honestly, I start off with a moisturizer. Right now my moisturizer is just the Johnson's & Johnson's baby lotion. I know this is not the best moisturizer, or it's not geared for makeup, but my son has really sensitive skin, so this is all I've been using since he's been born to moisturize my body. So with that being said, it's very lightweight, smells good, and it does the job. I have oily skin, so it does not make me more oily, because I find that some moisturizers will make me more oily, even more oily than I already am. So my face is moisturized. Next, I will be putting on my foundation. I currently don't use a primer just because I have never noticed the difference between them. I do want to sample I think that's Murad has a primer, and then I want to sample also the Becca Pore Perfecting Primer, because I do have large pores, and that's why it's important for me to get my skin as clean as possible to minimize the pores. So right now for a daily foundation routine, I'm using the Maybelline, what is this called, Maybelline Fit Me foundation, and my color is 35 Cocoa. I like this foundation because it's very inexpensive. It's about $6. I think it's like $5 and some change at my local Walmart. I've seen it in like drugstores for almost double the price before, which is ridiculous, but yeah. So I just put about this much on my hand. I take my beauty blender, forgive me, it is dirty at the moment. But I just take a little bit of water and I dampen it, and then I will usually have this part done before, but since I forgot to do this part before I started the video, because this video is very impromptu, it's damp, and then I just kind of wring it a little bit with a tissue so it's not as wet, and then I just take a little bit and I just stipple it on my face. Another thing that I do wear a nose ring, so I do take it out so that my application is very smooth all over. And I like to use padding, stippling motions. Today I have really bad dark circles because I did not get much sleep last night. I don't know what it is, stress or just overthinking things or just being a mom more than anything. I don't get much sleep these days. Like last night, my hubby and my son slept peacefully, and I was up editing videos. We had to be up at 4 a.m. for an appointment this morning, so they went to bed. Diamond went to bed about 11:30. Derek went to bed, I'd say around the same time. Actually, he went to bed about half an hour earlier than that because I fed him first, and I couldn't sleep, so I stayed up and I edited. My computer is really slow right now, so I have to buy some more memory or storage for it, my boyfriend was telling me. So it takes a long time to do a simple task. But anyways, so I have the foundation on my skin because I have extra bags, or not bags, but dark circles. My face is not as bright, so what I will do is I like using the, the Studio Finish Concealer by MAC. in NW45. I've got this one is pretty old, not old, but you know, it takes a long time to get through these things. So I have a pretty good amount left. But what I did not know, my color in MAC is typically an NW43. So I've always used the NW45 in the Studio Finish Concealer, which is a little bit orange and it's a little bit darker than my skin tone. But I like it because it does cancel, the orange in it does cancel out my dark circles pretty well. But I would just wish it was a shade lighter so that it would match my skin a little bit better, because on days when I just want to throw a little concealer under my eyes to make me look a little bit more awake and go, this does not work, because the purpose of a concealer, a skin tone concealer, is to conceal blemishes and dark circles without being detected. When I wear this alone with no foundation and no makeup, or no other makeup, you can see, and it looks like an orange wash under my eyes, which is not cute. So I did that. Now my next step is to, oh, my point was to say that I seen it at the Pro store. They have this same concealer in NW43. So that probably will be one of my next MAC pickups, is this MAC Studio Finish concealer in NW43, because this absolutely has always been my favorite concealer. I've used a ton of concealers from many different brands, and I always come back to this one because nothing works as good as that one to me, as far as the consistency and the coverage. And this used to be my color. Like growing up, I've been using this concealer since I was about 15 years old, and I've always used that one. It just seems like in the last few years it's gotten a little bit too dark for me, so I don't know if my skin color is lightened up or what it is. But anyways, next step is to highlight for the brightening effect, and I'm going to use the LA Girl Pro Concealer. The one I'm using today, I have these in a ton of different colors, but today I'm going to use C977 Warm Sand. I don't know if it's going to focus and show you guys. Focus, focus, focus. Okay, it's not going to focus, but yeah, I just do like an upside down triangle motion right above my, or right below my eyelids, because this is just an everyday quick thing. I'm not really interested in the whole extreme highlight and contour thing. I just want to brighten my face, just because, again, I am a new mom and I like to look awake and alive, and not like I am dead to the world when I'm running off of no sleep. Because as I was saying to you guys, I didn't get any sleep last night. Diamond and Derek went to sleep about about 11:30, 12. I stayed up and I was editing videos. When I finally dozed off, like literally with the laptop in my lap, I believe it was about 2 something, and then I was up again about 3 something. So I probably got an hour of sleep. And then from there, I'm sorry, I'm not even in focus. But as you can see, the Warm Sand on my skin tone, it does the brightening effect. I don't know if you guys can see that. Sorry for the poor lighting, but it does somewhat brighten it, but it brightens it in a natural way. So if I wanted to boost up the brightening effect a little bit more, I would take my Midnight Banana Powder. But today I don't really need to have that major highlighting conceal going on, so I'm gonna just set my whole face with my favorite setting powder, all one color. So it's not necessarily, you're not going to be able to tell that it's highlighted. It's just going to look brighter under my eyes, but it's going to look very natural opposed to the highlighting effect, but not yet. So before I do that, I am going to take my CoverGirl Queen Collection by Queen Latifah. This is the bronzer in Ebony Bronze, and as you can see, this is Ebony Bronze, but as you can see, I hit pen on it. I've had this one for years, probably about 2 years now, and I'm gonna just take a e.l.f. And which one is this? This is the angled contour brush. I'm not sure if this is a eye brush or a face brush, but I like it for concentrating the bronzer right in my contour for a good chiseled, not chiseled, but to sort of, I have a round face, so my goal is to kind of help to make it look a little bit more slim. And then I'm going to blend it out and add a little bit more around with this brush, which is a nice fluffy blending brush. This one is from Sephora. I don't think they sell this color of the brushes anymore, but this is a face contour brush. So this is perfect because I can get in there and get a good chisel line, and then I'll blend it out, and then I'll take this and just bronze over it. So I'm using the same color, but I'm using two brushes, if that makes sense. So I go and I make the fish face, and I get it right in the natural hollows of my cheek, and then I start blending it out. And you want the line to be pretty much straight here. You want to blend up. So you want it to get not messy, but blended upwards opposed to downwards, because you don't want to have, you want it to be defined here, so to speak, so that it gives you a more chiseled look, and that is what is going to help define your face. So I'm going to take a little bit more, and I'm going to do the fish face, and I'm going to blend up. I don't know if you guys can see that well. And it's not perfect, but like I said, we're going to blend it out. So fish face, blend into the hollows of our cheek and up. Okay, so I like the way that blended out. Now we're going to take just a little bit more and just lightly dab it and do circular motions. I'm not going to do a concealer. I'm sorry, I'm not going to do a blush, and I'm not going to do a highlight. I'm not going to do a cheekbone shimmering highlight today. So this is going to act as a blush and a bronzer, and I wanted to meet where I did that kind of where I did that highlight with that LA Girl Pro Concealer, so that it kind of helps to blend that out as well. I'll take a little bit into the hairline just to warm the face up. Nothing major, but it just will keep me from looking washed out at any given point. And I love a warm face. I never want my face to look cold. I never want it to look ashy or gray. So I like using warm tones on my skin complexion to help me to look alive. So as you can see, this lighting is not doing it any justice, but it's very warm, it's very beautiful, and it is exactly what I was looking for. So next, what I'm going to do is, since I've already put powder pretty much on my cheeks, the perimeter of my forehead, and my chin, I can go back in with, or not back in, but for the first time I'm going to go in with this. Now this is my holy grail makeup product that I've been using for at least like 5 to 7 years now. This right here is the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish Natural. I use the color dark. I started out using deep dark, and then after a while, like I said, when I was using my concealer in this used to be my everyday face routine. I never used liquid foundation until I just wanted a little bit more, and this is my combo that I would use, and for some reason it got dark. So I don't know if the formula changed or my skin just lightened up as I got older, but I went from an NW45 and a deep dark to a NW43 and a dark. So I will do a video on this as well to show you if you want a minimal. This is my everyday face routine, but if you want something even more minimal, I'll do a look on this. Just request it below. But one thing I forgot to do is, usually when you put a concealer on under your eyes, always set it immediately. Do not wait, only because if you wait, you might risk the chance of getting the lines under your eyes. And as you can see, I have a little bit, so what I will do is I will go back in and sort of blend that out. and sort of like let the concealer that's there fill it back in. One good thing about this is that if you want it just as a powder, I would put it on as a concealer. I would put my concealer on, and then I would take and I would just brush this on with just a quick powder brush. But if you want to take it even a step further with this stuff, you can use it wet. So for the sake of this video, I'm not going to wet the beauty blender, and forgive me, this one is really beat up. It's time for a new one. But I'm just going to take it. This pretty much is dry, so it's not going to give the same effect. But this works so beautiful with a damp beauty blender. It's so beautiful. And one of my favorite natural looks as well. I just now am more into wearing a foundation, a liquid foundation, before I put this on, because it is a mineral powder. So I concentrate it under my eyes. And because I'm not going to do any eyeshadow today, I'm gonna set my eyes because my lids will crease if it's really warm out. So it's best to just go ahead and set them. So I'm gonna take and I'm going to set the areas of my face that I did not use any bronzer. So my chin, under my contour, around my mouth. I'm going to add a little bit more where I highlight it. And my nose. And again, I didn't put it where I bronzed because I've already set that part with the powder. So you don't want to double powder because you don't want to get a powdery look. Now usually I will use a Fix Plus or some kind of setting powder to melt all of these products into my face. But I forgot to pull out my powder or my setting spray, which is the Fix Plus, to show you that part. So if you don't have a Fix Plus or something like that, me having oily skin, my face is naturally going to bring out its natural oils, and this is going to set perfectly. Right now I'm not looking too powdery as it is, so I'm okay. So for my brows, I just use one of these really quick and I clean them up at least about once a week. I don't need to today, so I won't, but I just wanted to show you that. And I always use a fresh one. This one is pretty dirty, so this one I'm not even using, but you want to make sure it's extra sharp. Okay, so next we're going to go on to brows. I am going to slow. First thing I use is, this is from a set from BH Cosmetics, and it is a spoolie brush and a liner brush. They got a little bit of powder in them, so I am brushing out the powder that got into the foundation that got into them, as well as shaping them how I want them to be. And then I'm going to take my MAC fluid line, and this is dipped down. I don't know if you can see that. This one is pretty much not almost done. There's plenty of product in here, but it's starting to dry out. So I'm thinking about trying the Dip Brow by Anastasia again. I tried it about last summer and I did not like it. I tried, I think, the darkest one, which was Ebony, and I felt like it was too dark. And then I tried the I want to say it was chocolate. I could be wrong, but I want to say it was chocolate. But I tap it in there and I want to warm this product up before I put it on my brows. So I continue to do the tapping motions inside of the product until it feels like it warms up a little bit. And then I just outline my brows. I try to keep them as thin as possible, just because this product is very dark as well, so I don't need to go in very thick. If it was more of a natural color, I could go thicker, and sometimes I do go thicker even with this product, but for today, that's as thick as it's gonna get. And then just warm it up a little bit, top off the excess, and I'm just gonna go from the bottom and line this, and then the top and line this, fill in, starting more so concentrating the majority of the product on the end and working it forward so that it can have somewhat of a gradient effect. This is just a quick brow. As you can see, it takes me all of 3 minutes to do my brows. Like if I wasn't on camera, I would just brush them out with that spoolie really quick to lay them flat. This part would go even faster of filling them in. And I concentrate the product back, kind of getting all of the product off of the brush and then moving forward with the excess. One day I will do a brow tutorial for you guys, and I'll show you what I do for an even more beat brow, I guess you can call it. And then sometimes I'll work it a little bit further up, almost like a unibrow. My son is waking up. As you can see, I moved it up and then I'll just like blend it back. And that kind of gives it somewhat of a gradient effect, so it doesn't just look like it just started out of nowhere. And I'll just take my finger and kind of like try and blend it out a little bit so that it looks like a little bit more natural, opposed to just like, oh my god, it started out of nowhere. Last step for brows is this is the Maybelline Brow Drama, and I'm just gonna go in and set my brows with this so that they don't move or smudge all day. And it kind of revamps my, not revamps, but it kind of what am I trying to say, makes my actual natural brow hairs pop, so that it looks a little bit more natural. Now obviously this is not a natural look either way it goes, but that does help. Okay, so next step is to bring my eyes back to life. Normally I would use the Inglot, what is this, the Inglot gel liner in 77. This thing is really black, probably one of the best liners there is. And right now I would use it with the BH Cosmetics liner brush, but for the sake of this video I'm already at 20 minutes, so I am going to just use, this is an NYC liner. This is the black one. I don't know if it's black or what, but it's the darkest black one. This thing is only about $4, and it probably is the best liner that you will ever find. Like between this one and the Inglot one, they come real close. So all I do is I do pull my lid back because I have such excess skin on it that when I try to just line it without pulling it back, I can never get it perfect. I'm not very good with the wing liner yet, so I need tons of practice with that. I don't do that really often yet, just because when I do it, it just seems to not come out perfect, or it will rub off throughout the day because my eyes get really watery. But it just never seems to work out, the wing liner, for me yet. So I have a ton of practicing to do, because I do love how it looks to have a nice winged liner and some flirty lashes for like an everyday look. I love that look. Like, I know Nicole Guerrero, she's one of my favorite YouTubers, one of my favorite beauty gurus, and I love what she just does, like a winged liner and some lashes. And I hate when I mess up. If you mess up your liner and it kind of gives you like dark circles, always remember that you can go back in with a concealer or your foundation, like the excess on your beauty blender, you can just like clean it up like this. And then if anything, reset it with some powder if ever you happen to mess up your look. But we're almost done. So we have the liner. Lashes are very important as well. Usually for day-to-day, I'll pick one. I'll either do liner or lashes. 9 times out of 10, lashes, aka mascara, usually always wins over the liner. But I did want to show you guys what liners I was using, and so since I did put on a liner pretty thick today, I'm not as worried about putting a ton of coats of mascara on. Although mascara, I just love the way it looks because it makes your lashes look very, makes your look very complete and very like flirty. Very flirty. Another word for it is very glam. Like when your lashes are on fleek, even though it's just your natural lashes, it looks really good. So that's it for now. Oh, and I'm forgetting to tell you what I'm using. This is the L'Oreal Voluminous Butterfly Intensa, the red one. I think there's a blue one, or is it purple or something like that. So we've done everything, and now we're left with lips. So this is just a not used, but you guys see me use this napkin. I'm just gonna wipe away the excess product on my lip. I would normally use cork to line it. This is a really tiny one, but this is Cork by MAC. It's the closest to my skin tone. It's only about a shade darker, if that. So that's why I really like this one, because it's very flesh tone for me. And I know the flesh tone that's pinky is very in, or mauve-y. Sorry guys, my son woke up, but I just kind of blend it out while I pick my lip. Lately, I'll just do like a liner, and then I'll do like Blankety by MAC. It's an amplified. This is one of my favorites. And I'll just go in with that and kind of blend it together. Or if I want the pinky mauve look, I'll either do the Kat Von D in Lolita, the Kat Von D lipstick or lip gloss in Lolita all over. With this, I'll let that set because it does dry matte, and then I'll go in the middle with a little bit of this one. So that's what I'm going to do for today. So again, this is Kat Von D Lolita, and I just go in the inner. And I let that kind of dry on my lips, kind of letting it mesh in or blend in with the cork liner. While that dries, I'm going to make sure that my mascara and everything else is perfect. I'm going to make sure that my powder is perfect. As this lipstick dries, or this lip gloss, it kind of does get a little bit tacky. That's how I know it's dry. And I'll set that, and it's fun to do a bunch of different colors, so why not? I'm gonna just do Blankety in the middle of that. I'm gonna let that set. My hair, guys, I'm trying to be natural for the remainder of the summer, but the summer just started, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to handle it, because since I'm natural, I don't have a perm. It is very hard to keep my hair from reverting. So when I straighten my hair, this is pretty much the results. So I can never wear it down. So lately I've just been wearing ponytails and buns. And excuse the way my boobs look.